Welcome to Brooklyn Tool Garage. So, what am I doing today? I'm looking at welders. What I have here is the Campbell Houseville 110 volt welder that I've been using off and on. This thing's pretty old. It's actually my dad's welder. So I've decided to go ahead and get me a welder, and I wanted to upgrade just a little bit from this one to more of a 240. So you see the garage here, it's what I did whenever I had this garage built and I wired the electrical in here, is I actually did a 240 drop for an air compressor and for a welder. So I never intended on using a 110 in here anyway. So what I went with is the Chicago Electric welder, the MIG 170. Get this right away. I went with the MIG 170 welder right here. I'm going to be sticking with the flux core wire for now. And that's just because that's kind of the level that I'm at, right? One day whenever I get all grown up and a big welder, then and I want something prettier, I can go with a gas style. But right now I just don't want to deal with it for what I'm working on. So I'll do a little bit of welding beads and see what we get, and alright, looks like I got all my tensions right. I did make a mistake when I unloosen my wire here. It's got a little slot in there to hold everything together and hold tension on it. I undid that and didn't feed it into here where it had tension on it. So what happened is it bird's nest on me, so I got to carefully try to get that back, and I had to cut some of that off to get some of the kinks out of there. So I might still have a little bit of wire in there that I might have to come back and cut that, so don't do that. Keep the there's a little I think it was right here where the wire is attached to the plastic. Keep it in there until you're ready to feed it all the way through and get tension on it. That way it don't bird's nest on you. That'll help you out. Okay, that is the just a rough how to put the wire in there. I just checked the tension, like what the book said. Push it, about 2 inches out. Shoot it into a 2x4 or a piece of wood, and then it should bend it instead of stopping. So looks like that's set up pretty good. Okay, that seemed a whole lot better, just going on minimum. stage 2. I felt a lot more heat going into the metal, and it seems to be penetrating much better. I got to clean it up, but, and then we'll see what we get here. Alright, so it looks like I could speed up a little bit from that weld right there. Or I could probably go in stage 1 and slow down a little bit. But was a much better feeling weld whenever I was looking at that right there. So anyways, I'm going to play around with this, and honestly, I'm not a welder, so what I'm going to do to learn how to weld is go to Eastwood and look up the Eastwood videos on how to weld. That's what I did on Jim for painting. Jim's a little dirty, but to get all the basics of how to paint, I went on Eastwood. So that's what I'll be doing there, and learning how to weld and play around. Maybe I'll show you a couple my progression welds, but you know, I have some experience welding. I am not a welder. Right, it's very limited. So this is how you can see if I can turn around and buy a welder like this, is like 220 bucks, and learn how to weld. You can do it too. Alright, so yesterday evening I found me some videos on Eastwood. They're on YouTube that I watched to help me set up my MIG welder and learn how to weld a little bit better. A couple things to watch for. So I've been playing around with that, and I think I feel comfortable on my welder to start actually going into welding pieces of metal together. And I'll show you what we got right here. This was my first welds right here. Those two there, I tried that on the minimum 1, minimum 2 setting. I played around a little bit more, playing with wire speed, come around and played a little bit there, so that didn't work real good. And these are the ones I did today. So that's just playing around there, you know, still learning. Now, if you noticed, I made a little makeshift table here so that I can get more sturdy than up on my old Bessie vise right there. Alright, so I come in here and want to show you this one. I played with turning my wire speed down, and it just didn't have the right sound, and it wasn't welding good. And then I turned it back up, and we got that one right there, and that one's not looking too bad there. That's the last one that I did. I'm not worried about straight. I was looking at penetration and how is it working. So, alright, so like I said, I'm pretty happy where I'm at on these right here. I think it's still a little warm. Yeah, I can definitely tell it's warm. So I'm ready to progress to the next thing, which is actually welding pieces of metal together. What I'm going to do is continue watching some videos from Eastwood, and I have cards for those up here. I don't know if I can do a video link or not, but I'll have them in the description of this video. And then I'm also going to make a playlist, so at the end of the video I'll put it over here somewhere, right? And it'll be my playlist for the Eastwood how to weld, basically. And I just want to note, some of the things I'm looking up there says MIG welding. Technically I'm not MIG welding because I have a flux core wire, but it's pretty much the same difference, right? My weld progression. I had a video of this, but it didn't really come out real good. It wasn't focused, so just kind of doing a retake on that. So that's just some practice welds there. And this is fusing these two together. Yeah, that's a little ugly there, but it'll do. Alright, that's going to do for this video, because we're right about 10 minutes. I have a practical application that I'm going to do next week, and that is the exhaust system on Project Phoenix. I'm doing more of a pull some parts from the junkyard, grab some mufflers, and just building an exhaust system for that car. And that's a 5.0 5-speed Fox body Mustang, 91 Mustang right there. So watch for that next week. I'm going to, at the end of my outro, I'm actually going to show you a little bit of teaser for that right there. Because I already had it videoed, but it would have just made this one too long, right? So, anyways, if you like what you see, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, don't be afraid to comment, or even share. So, like I said again, I am not a professional welder. I am a hobbyist, do-it-yourself, just like y'all are, right? So we'll see you next time on Broken Tool Garage. Okay, non-car content. I have read Chapter 8 and answered my questions. Chapter 8 was, does anyone here speak woman? So guys, that's some good stuff. Whether you're married or not, that's just some good stuff right there. I encourage you to go through and read this book. Alright, next week is Chapter 9, The Incredible Power of Fathering. A Man and His Children, Part 1. Alright, I'll be getting into that, and throughout this week I'll read that. And I also want to say just a little special thank you to Matt at Brailsford's Rides, because I really wasn't going to do this video, and he expressed some interest on his live stream. He does live streams on Wednesday evenings, right? So go check him out, pretty good guy, and man, The Incredible Power of Fathering, he has some good stuff out there too. He's doing a great job there. Thank you, Matt. And the next video is also, I didn't know if I was going to put that one up or not, but that's, you expressed interest, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, we're just going to close this one out. I appreciate you watching.